The Minnesota Vikings have brought joy and misery to the Vikings fans for many years. At the Skol Purple Podcast, we just want to see the Vikings party with the Lombardi. Join us for analysis, interviews, laughs, and much more. It's the podcast by Vikings fans for Vikings fans. The Skol Purple Podcast starts now. Here's your host, Carson Schubert.
Welcome into the Skol Purple Podcast on YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify, and yes, right in front of your faces right now. Glad to be with you on this off-season episode, and we do have a new face in the building. For those of you on YouTube already can see, and I'm Carson along with David, normal faces, and then we've got a new face. And his name is Peter Delmonte. Peter, welcome aboard. He is a new part of the Skol Purple Podcast. And Peter, first of all, I think we should have you tell us a little bit about, we've obviously heard your story, but for the Vikings fans that are a part of our family on the Skol Purple Podcast, maybe they want to hear a little bit about your background of the Vikings fandom in your life and how you got into sports maybe a little bit. So give us a little bit of your story. First of all, welcome, and how are things going?
Oh, it's great to be here. Appreciate it, Carson. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be part of this group. You know, it was like we've been talking, we're getting to know each other here a bit, and it feels like a great fit. I'm excited. Oh, where to start with me? I live in the beautiful state of Texas. I've lived here now most of my life, but originally from the Northeast. My parents are from the Northeast. So I got that nice little New York, East Coast, Texas thing. I'm sure just a whole different kind of attitude right there. My dad was a lifelong Vikings fan, so I kind of was born into this thing. A lot of great memories, a lot of awful memories. Obviously, sports have always been a part of my life. I love sports. I mean, I could name every NFL team by their helmet before I could say the alphabet. My mom likes to tell that story all the time, that I was that kid. So, you know, I wouldn't know my letters, but I knew who the Cincinnati Bengals were and that they had Bengals on their helmets. So yeah, been a Vikings fan pretty much all my life. I love football. I have a small YouTube channel of my own where I cover daily sports with that. So that's kind of more of a free thing over there on YouTube. So, but I just wanted to talk Vikings ball. Got a lot of great Vikings memories, got a lot of terrible Vikings memories, as most of us, but I'm here. I'm excited, and let's get into it.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you a part of it. And you have a really successful YouTube channel over talking daily about sports and different things, different stats, and looking forward to what you're going to help bring to the table. And that starts tonight. That starts today with this episode where you're going to give us your opinions, and people are either going to turn this podcast off or they're going to gladly welcome you with open arms. We'll find out today, but
yeah,
make sure to put that in the comments.
Like we said, I might end up being the Skip Bayless of this channel. Who knows at this point?
Come on, Skip. Come on, Skip. Let's go on. Come on, Skip.
Oh, man. There we go. But yeah, no, glad to have you with us. David, how are you doing, man? How are things going?
I'm doing fine, man. Just excited to talk some Vikings too. You know, got a few things going on. The combine's, kicking off. So that means the draft is right around the corner. So
the drunk GMs and coaches are in full force.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right, gentlemen. Well, our first talking point, we didn't talk about it on our Kirk Cousins little video that we did the other day, but we did talk about this. We'll talk about his Netflix show in a bit, but we're gonna give this to Peter first. Peter, Kirk Cousins extension talks. It was reported briefly earlier this week that Kirk Cousins would not take, or the Vikings would not give him another 1-year extension, which, by the way, if you listen to PA's conversation with Tom Pelissero, he actually said in that conversation with PA, Tom did, that report is actually false. He just said from his thought process, if he was the Vikings and maybe even Kirk Cousins, that it wouldn't make sense to take another 1-year extension. It either makes more sense to extend him for a few years or just say be done with him after the 2023 season. What are your thoughts?
It makes sense. All or nothing with Kirk at this point. Either you're all in this year with Cousins, we are going to try and win a Super Bowl with you, or we're out, or you drag this thing out for a couple more years, which it depends how confident you are on the roster. I think we're close. Obviously, we're not there at quarterback, and the defense needs a lot of work. 13 wins is 13 wins in this league. We have a young head coach. So I agree, a 1-year extension wouldn't be great. This is legacy time. Kirk's made his money. Kirk just wanted some love, man. He never got love in Washington. The Vikings have embraced him. We got a new head coach. Zimmer never loved him. KOC loves Kirk. We gave Kirk love. He had his best season, I think, from a winning standpoint. He was, 8 game-winning drives, tied an NFL record. That's not the Kirk Cousins, at least the narrative around Kirk Cousins. So I think a 3-year extension here, maybe a 2-year extension, just push this out for another 3 seasons. His cap hit's not terrible. He's only $36 million against the cap. That's 6 currently. Quarterbacks in front of him: Ryan Tannehill, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, and then Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert are probably going to go right by him. They're getting new contracts here. Same with Jalen Hurts. So he's not in cap. He's not in a bad cap situation. So maybe if they bring that number down a little bit. I know somebody talked about legacy time for Kirk, and you take maybe a little less money now to get the team around you. We're going to get you a center, get you a right guard. We'll figure that out. We'll get you another receiver. We're going to get you a defense that's going to keep teams under 25 points. You get us 28 points, we're going to win almost every week. So I think it's up to Kirk now. And if Kirk is really about the money, then I was wrong about him, and I'm going to start hating Kirk. But for right now, I like the idea of extending him for now. It's really hard to get a good quarterback in this league, and I think we definitely have a top 10 quarterback.
All right, David. Time for a rebuttal.
You already know how I feel about it, Carson. I feel like the best ability that a quarterback can give you is availability. Kirk Cousins doesn't miss games, and wasn't he like the most hit quarterback last year? And he just kept getting up and kept going down the field. So with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets like maybe a 1 or 2 year extension. But my only thing about it, if you do that, are you going to develop a quarterback in the background? Are you going to draft a quarterback in the 3rd round, or, the KOCC is guy in those later rounds for a draft pick and kind of develop him just in case Kirk Cousins, like you say, Carson, his arm falls off during this contract. But but it makes sense, though. It makes sense. It's like Peter said, that cap is not that bad. We always think the cap is like, oh my God, he signed for this crazy amount of money. And I say it all the time, like some of these NFL contracts is only predicated on the, the guaranteed money. So he can sign a big contract as long as the guaranteed money is not that much, and we can go forward with it. But I'm open to it, 50% open to it, 50% saying let him walk. But at the end of the day, I do understand how hard it is to find a reliable quarterback in this league. You can go out and sign these big name quarterbacks and they don't play. Look at what Baltimore is dealing with over there with Lamar Jackson. He's great, but he don't play all the time.
Yep. Well, to rebuttal Peter and your point about the Kirk Cousins contract situation, yes, I agree that by the time this offseason itself is over, Kirk Cousins' contract will be very minimal. But at least in terms of the overall quarterback spectrum of quarterback contracts. But here's the problem. The same problem that the Chiefs had. The same problem that the Packers had. You can't pay a top wide receiver and a quarterback top money. You can't do it, or you're going to hamstring other parts of your team, and you're going to end up with a bad defense, which, by the way, we did anyway. And that's part of it, is because we've paid a lot of money to some of these aging players, and obviously scheme with Donatell, as David, you've mentioned multiple times. We've talked about multiple times. But there comes a point with some of these guys where you have to say, okay, we can't keep paying you at this number. And I think eventually with Kirk Cousins, you have to come to that realization. And I think if you draft a quarterback this year, let him develop under Kirk Cousins for a year, then you can let Kirk walk. If you don't feel comfortable about it, then maybe see if he'll resign for a year. But otherwise, maybe just bring in a veteran quarterback that's not going to cost you as much money next year to go with that rookie quarterback, and then kind of build your team around Justin Jefferson and some of the young pieces you have on defense, and kind of go from there. Because here's the thing, like I mentioned this to David, and David, you kind of brought it up again. We don't know when Kirk's cliff is going to be reached. We don't know when he's going to just all of a sudden start to decline. And it's nothing against Kirk. Like, oh, wow, you're just being a Kirk hater because you're saying that. It's like, no, Father Time is undefeated. Exactly. Father Time's undefeated. Tom Brady caught up to it this year, finally.
Have you looked at Kirk though? My man is shredded. He is in absolute fantastic shape. Okay, Kirk can give us 3 more years. He ain't falling off no cliff. I mean, maybe Bradbury not
4
blocking
more years.
Might get him killed.
Nah.
But my man's in good shape. I think Kirk takes care of his body. And
definitely does.
I don't think Father Time's knocking at the door yet. He might be creeping up, but he ain't knocking at the door.
Yeah, and you might be right, but here's my thing. I just don't want to end up in a situation too where we don't know how much longer Kirk wants to play, like the Colts. Like all of a sudden Andrew Luck retires. Oh, we don't have a backup plan. Well, we're screwed.
Yeah, but he was getting his head blown in a lot too. Like they didn't have an offensive line for him, which is just like Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
Yeah, he also didn't have Jefferson. I mean, I think Kirk likes throwing the ball. Justin Jefferson makes life a little bit easier than Andrew Luck had. He was throwing to you and me out there by the end of it.
Yeah. And then, the same thing with Atlanta. They didn't have a succession plan for Matt Ryan right away, and then this past year, and they still don't. And this past year didn't do them all that great. I mean, I think Desmond Ridder could be okay, but is he a future franchise quarterback? I probably don't see that happening. So again, it's better to be preparing for that. And even Kwesi, by the way, in his combine press conference said that, like, you've got to be preparing as a GM for 2024, 2025 even. That's something that the Vikings have not done. I don't even remember the last time the Vikings really prepared for multiple years down the road. It doesn't happen that often. We're like, okay, we're going to win now. We're trying to win now.
Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, maybe we traded up. We didn't start right away.
Traded back in the first round to get him.
I worry about Kirk though. There's some intriguing quarterbacks. Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee is an intriguing later round quarterback. But
he's older than me.
He is a fit, but hey, so was Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett looked pretty good this year in Pittsburgh. I just worry about Kirk. Kirk is kind of mentally, you got to coddle him. I don't know what that does to him if we say you're on a 1-year deal and we brought in your replacement. I just don't know what that. I hate that you have to baby Kirk sometimes. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's just the perception of Kirk. It's something I would worry about. But we thought we were grooming a quarterback with Kellen Mond, and that blew up in our face. We spent a 3rd-round pick on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, a quick question about the Kirk situation. Now, if the Vikings do extend Kirk for multiple years, are we going to have a different, say what with KOC? Because if KOC is his quarterback whisperer, wouldn't he want to bring in his own guy, or does he want to just keep running it back with Kirk Cousins? What does that say about KOC? Does that make him the quarterback whisperer where he can develop a guy? Like, what do you say about that?
I mean, we saw McVay turn Stafford around, and maybe KOC turned Stafford around, because Stafford was pretty awful last year without KOC. And he was pretty good. So maybe, he rolls it with Cousins. He thinks he can win now. And maybe he does draft a guy, and he is grooming a guy that is a later round pick. We've seen, if you looked at the NFC playoff picture, there was 0 first-round quarterbacks. It was a bunch of guys who were late. Kirk Cousins was a 4th-round pick. Now, don't look at the AFC side. It was nothing but top picks. So it is 50-50 in the NFL what your quarterback looks like, what winning quarterbacks look like. It's a lie. Daniel Jones was a 1st-round pick, but he shouldn't have been a 1st-round pick. But so it is. I get it. Maybe he is the whisperer, and his guy is Kirk Cousins. You never know. Shanahan still wants Kirk Cousins. When I know the market is high for your quarterback is good when the market's out there. I mean, Shanahan would kill to have Kirk Cousins right now.
So I got to ask you, Peter, if the 49ers called you up tomorrow and said, we'll give you a first-round pick, are you doing it?
Do they even have a first round
They
pick?
don't have it.
It might
I
not
thought
be this year. Hey, it might not be this year. How
They
about
gave
this?
up-
We'll throw in a second rounder this year plus next year's first. Are you taking that deal?
They might not even have that.
Yeah, I have to look back at what they gave up for Trey Lance. They gave up Trey Farm for that young man.
Right.
You'd have to take I'd consider it. You'd have to lock down Jefferson though and say we're gonna suck this next year, and then you compile those 2 first rounders to go get one of those top quarterbacks next year and then let it ride. But I think we're closer than that. I think they truly believe if we had a top 17 defense this past season, we would have been playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I really think that's what they think of this team. So it's hard to move off of Cousins when they think they're that close.
True.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
And he's
Interesting
always
thought.
available. That's the biggest thing with me.
Never
He's always
misses.
available
Until
Like,
he
I don't
isn't.
care. Yeah, until he isn't, but I don't care like how fast you are. You can scramble. It doesn't mean anything when you're sitting on the sideline. What did the last coach say? You can't make the club in the tub. You can't. So I
Yep.
mean, it's just how it goes. Like his availability is amazing to me. Like the way that guy gets hit all the time, and he just keeps getting up, chucking that ball down the field. And I mean,
Yeah,
that's availability.
that was one of the most impressive things about Kirk this year. His ability to get back up, and not only
Stop.
that, but just hang in the pocket, except on that 4th and 8. But I'll digress on that for now.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him about that though. Yeah, not anymore.
Bad play call.
Not anymore. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Take the play away
it wasn't
from him.
it wasn't a great play call.
Yeah.
I
don't
think
allow
we're
that play.
forgetting though, guys, how bad our quarterbacks have been. I mean, good
Yes.
God.
Oh yeah.
Sam Bradford for a year, a little more.
Half of a
and
year.
Yeah.
But here's the thing:
Teddy,
do you think
Sean
that,
Hill.
do you think that
Tavares
the-
Jackson? I mean, Jesus.
do you think that the Chiefs fans were like that before some of the Chiefs fans were like, all right, we need to get rid of Alex Smith. He's not good enough to get us over the hump. And then they're like, oh, well, we'll bring in Patrick Mahomes. I know Patrick Mahomes is a generational, once in a lifetime prospect, but can we get our version of a Patrick Mahomes? Obviously not going to be as good as Patrick Mahomes. That's just my thought. It's like
It's
the
doable.
Chiefs had so many bad quarterbacks before Alex Smith,
Mhm.
and they finally got him.
I think you can get a version of Pat Mahomes or another franchise quarterback when you have your head coach, which is the offensive guy on the ball. It's different. It's a difference when you have a defensive minded head coach. He's trying to stop the other team from scoring, and he's trying to control the game with the running game. So that's why you see the Dalvin Cooks and the Adrian Peterson and stuff like that. Like that's just a defensive coach. With KOC, that's what I was saying before. Like maybe he is a quarterback whisperer and he can draft a guy. But look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid traded up to get Pat Mahomes because he knows what he wants in a quarterback. You think Zimmer knows what to look for in a quarterback? No. He liked Bridgewater.
Troy Aikman was the quarterback for Dallas. Of course he doesn't know.
Exactly. So,
Now I get Troy Aikman's a Hall of Famer, but let's be honest. All he did was drive that bus. Like,
Hey,
Troy
also
Thanks
kept
to the
most of them
Vikings.
out of jail. He kept most of them out of jail. Troy, that's what Troy did. Okay, some stories from them 90 Cowboys are out of control. But,
yes, out of control.
Michael
Andy didn't
Irvin's
move
still
up
out of
that
control.
much. They won the division the year they moved up to get Mahomes, so they were picking in the 20s. Like,
Yeah,
it cost you some draft capital. Deshaun Watson was taken at 13 in that draft. Mahomes at 10. Like, you can do it with Cousins, and then you just got to go all in. And Mahomes sat for a year. Like, people kind of forget that. And Alex Smith won the division. Alex Smith won the division. They lose a bad game against Tennessee in the wild card round, and they roll out the Mahomes. So it could be that simple. It's like Green Bay should have done that 2 years ago. You lost with Rodgers, roll out Jordan Love. Let's see it.
Yeah, that's they kind of squandered that whole rookie contract over there in Green Bay, because now it's kind of like, Rodgers, what is he going to do? Is he going to play? Is he going to come back? But at the end of the day, you got your rookie quarterback on a rookie pay scale that you just wasted. Like,
Exactly. And he wants to play. He'll demand a trade.
Yeah,
if Rodgers comes back, he's going to demand a trade to get out of there. He wants to start.
I think he wants out too. But gentlemen, let's move on. We could talk about this for days, I think. Let's talk about Kirk in a different light as a Netflix star, as he's going to be starring in a show on Netflix this coming summer. And he's also going to be starring along the likes of Patrick Mahomes and Marcus Mariota. So that's an interesting group of guys. I never would have thought those three would be featured in a show about quarterbacks in the NFL, but here we are. David, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it kind of makes sense, why you picked those three guys. You got the top quarterback in the league in Pat Mahomes. You got the most hated quarterback that everyone hates besides Viking fans in Kirk Cousins.
Marcus Mariota.
And then you got Mariota, who's basically out the league. So you're gonna have three different perspectives on playing quarterback in the NFL. I'm interested to see. I want to see it. I really want to see a different light of Kirk Cousins. Like, the way the media spins it is like he's this standoffish guy, but it seems like, especially this season, like his teammates loved him, with the Kirko change things, stuff like that. I want to see more of that. I just think Kirk Cousins is probably more relatable than we think. So I'm interested in seeing the whole thing.
Here's one thing I don't think people talk about with Kirk Cousins. I think KOC played into his personality more than Mike Zimmer did.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like Kirk was a little bit more tightly wound with Mike Zimmer as his coach, just because he didn't.
The whole team,
and the whole team was. You're absolutely right. Brian O'Neill doesn't even get a high on the halls, So it's like, good grief, say hi to your right tackle, franchise right tackle, for crying out loud. But yeah, I think everybody was, and especially you saw it with Kirk Cousins, and just the belief that he had in him from Kevin O'Connell, I think helped a lot. But your thoughts on the new Kirk Netflix show there, Peter?
It's kind of perfect, honestly. I think they were thinking it was going to be like, the best quarterback, elite quarterback, kind of a middle tier quarterback, and just like a dog shit quarterback, like an awful quarterback in Mariota. Yeah. And Cousins was a little bit better than they thought he was going to be. We obviously had a good season with Cousins, but I think we're going to get two things. People are either going to fall in love with Kirk or they're going to say he's corny and lame. And he might be corny and lame. Like, that's just kind of how Kirk is sometimes. I don't know. The team, like you said, I think the team likes that he's dorky. That's like his thing.
Yeah.
They play into him being a dweeb, and it's okay to be a dweeb sometimes, especially when everybody else is swagged out. You don't have to be Mr. Showy off guy. I heard Kirk gave them incredible access, like more than Mahomes, more than Mariota did. So he might be the focal point of the show. Obviously, Mahomes winning the Super Bowl kind of moves things along in that direction. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be a good summer watch when we're getting itching for that football, training camps rolling around.
They strategically put that where they did, because it's like probably in the middle of nowheresville, pretty much.
Yeah, I would bet July sometime, maybe early August, right when things are getting itchy. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I'll watch, obviously. It'll be fun to learn about Kirk. I want to see how much Brittany and Jackson Mahomes are involved, because they were pretty quiet this year. They might have known. They might have been getting involved.
So, I agree, David. I agree.
Hey, I love watching a train wreck, even when. So that'll be there for that. And then the Mariota thing is really interesting, because he said he played through an injury. They told him to play through the injury. Then they benched him, and then he quit on the team, saying, "What? Like, you forced me to not be healthy. I can't play at the level I want to play at." So that'll be a whole thing, I'm sure. And everybody likes Mariota, and he's a really quiet guy too. So it'll be interesting to hear from him. So I'm excited.
That whole playing through injury things is to me, it's quite unique, because I remember Robert Griffin III, like his first season, he was lighting the league up, and when he posted a tweet about Lamar Jackson, how don't play on your injury, because you play on your injury, you might not never be the same quarterback again. You're gonna have to rest yourself and get better. But yeah, some of those things is weird how some of these teams try to get these guys to go out there and play, and then they don't play to a certain standard, and then they just bench them anyway. And it's like some of these guys got to really understand, like, you have to do what's better for you, and yours first before the team. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm really interested with that.
But that might end up hurting Lamar because he might have got his contract if he played in the playoffs and they won.
I mean, he hasn't played the playoffs the last 2 years.
That's true. Oops.
What I'll say on this, I think it's going to be interesting to see how many people how much access they get for these players. Like, it sounds like you kind of have an inside scoop, or maybe you heard an inside scoop that Kirk is more going to have more inside access, which may tell us more than we want to know, or who knows with Kirk. But it's probably, just going to be him out on the patio, just in his dad chair, just chilling, and I don't know. But maybe it'll be actually interesting. I'm excited to see if it's actually football related. I don't know how much of it will be. Like, that's my thing, which could be okay. I mean, kind of a public interest story sort of a thing. What are these guys like off the field? So yeah, I'm excited to see what it's like. The thing that does excite me about it is that Netflix is really good at a lot of these types of things. Like, they do the murder mysteries, and obviously this is quite different than that. But they seem to be pretty good at those public interest type of stories where they seem to know what they need to do to capture an audience. So
the Matt Tykeo story. They did a great job.
Last chance you.
Yeah. They did a great job with the NBA official that, that bet on games. That was a great one too. So yeah, Netflix has a lane for this.
Yep. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Well, there you have it. Kirk Flicks. That's what they're calling it now. Kirk Flicks. So that's all you needed to know today. That's it. The show's over. We'll see you guys next time. No. We're going to go ahead and dive on into the curious case of Dalvin Tomlinson. The Vikings announced recently that they have pushed back his possible extension date to, I believe, March 15th. I believe you said that before the show, Peter. So Dalvin Tomlinson, they're still trying to work out a deal. I think he is a solid player that the Vikings like having around, and it seems like he's better in a 3-4 than a 4-3, just based on what we've seen from him. I think last year was his best year as a Viking, and it wasn't even close. But is he elite? Like, that's my whole question. Are you gonna, and if he isn't elite, should you be paying him elite money? Should he be making north of $15 million a year? I would be in the camp of no, don't pay him that kind of money. If he's going to make in between the 8 to 13 million, kind of that area, and maybe that's pretty low, but I just don't know if I would almost rather take somebody in that first round of the draft at interior defensive lineman and roll with that. Especially since they've spent so much money, and if they don't cut some of these veterans on defense, they're going to need to save money somewhere. So I would say get him on a pretty good team-friendly deal, or say goodbye to him. That's my thought. What do you think, Peter?
So his contract, they moved his void date to the 15th, and that's the start of the new league year, I believe. Yep. So we got some wiggle room here. His cap hit, if we cut him, is $7.5 million. So I can't imagine it's going to be over that. Maybe a little bit more. I think they're trying to get it down below that number and bring him back. I think that would be the big move, because I don't see any reason why they would push it back if it's not going to save them money towards the cap, because they got to get under that cap number. They're close. But there's a lot of guys pre-June 1st we're going to see cut on the defense, especially to clear up that cap space. We got a lot of pre-June 1st guys as far as salary, whatever the pay thing is. So I think we could see that. I'm not paying him more than $8 million a year. Not, like you said, he's good. He's getting older. He missed a good chunk of games last year with that calf injury. He really helps in the interior. The run defense was so much better. He does get an okay pass rush. I would like to see a little bit more pass rush from him. But honestly, it's all up to Flores. Whatever Flores says is probably what they're going to do on this situation because he knows the kind of guys he wants in his defense. We don't know. We think it's going to be a 3-4. It definitely could be a 4-3. It's going to be a multiple. It's going to be New England. I think we're going to see a lot more in New England.
Who we playing?
Yeah.
But we playing.
We're on to Cincinnati.
That's
so,
right.
yeah, I'm okay with him coming back. I like him, just like you said, not at that number. The D-line was probably the best part of that pathetic defense this year, so I think we have some good depth there that we could just plug and play some guys.
Yep. David.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Peter. Like, if it's over $8 million, it's not even worth it. You might as well go out there and draft a guy and develop him. But it is going to see what Flores is going to do going forward, and it's a mystery to all of us. Only one person knows what Flores is going to do. It's going to be Flores. So that's all I can say about it.
Hopefully, he lets KOC know what he's doing.
Nope. Flores may not even know what he's doing at this point.
Hey, KOC, just let me take care of it. You'll find out on opening day. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you said, Carson, there's aging veterans all over that defense that either need to get cut or get restructured. So maybe they just wanted to push it out to buy themselves some time to kind of figure out what they want to do with Harrison, what they want to do with Hunter, and even on offensive ball with Adam Thielen, what they want to do with his contract. So maybe Dalvin Cook. Maybe Dalvin Tomlinson just has to wait a little bit to actually get the contract that he might deserve, because pushing it right now, they probably like, well, we might as well just cut you. But if you wait, we can figure things out. So it's probably one of those, handshakes in the dark or whatever that, teams do. So, but if it's over 8 million, I don't want that. No.
Yep. I completely agree. All right, David, I am going to, before we tell you about our friends at DraftKings, we're going to do one more talking point. I'm going to give it to you, David, here. This is a point that you kind of wanted to talk about. Jalen Ramsey trade. Tell us what your thought process on this is.
Okay, my thought process is this. Jalen Ramsey is probably one of the most overrated cornerbacks in the NFL. He consistently gets beat. You forget that the Rams have to go get Eric Weddle out of retirement to play over the top. Now, he's aging. He's already looking at 30. I don't understand why the Vikings should trade him for any draft picks going forward. It'd be like having Patrick Peterson all over again. And the one thing that I do not like about Jalen Ramsey is when he does not make a play, when he gets beat, he blames the next guy on the other side of him. I don't want that on my team. This defense is all about trust. If you don't trust the next guy to make a play or be in a spot where he needs to be, you have a bad defense. And I think Jalen Ramsey is probably looking for his last payday, and I don't want it to come to the Vikings. I don't. I'd rather draft a guy or get a younger cornerback coming to his second contract in the NFL, not Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey probably would have been great for the Vikings in that 2017 run, but this isn't the same team. Sorry.
All right.
What do you think, Pete?
I totally agree. Jalen Ramsey is, he's that guy. It used to be Ramsey Island. It was more like, Ramsey Freeway. It was everybody throwing on Ramsey last year.
Exactly.
The Rams were one of the worst pass defenses in football last year, and they were throwing at Ramsey. I think he had the most touchdowns given up in man coverage. So come on, man. He's like Trayvon Diggs, but Trayvon Diggs actually forces turnovers. He may get beat, but he picks the ball off. Ramsey doesn't even get interceptions anymore. He just gets cooked. And then starts a fight. With somebody.
Yeah.
Not worth it. Yeah. I agree. Pass on Ramsey unless he's coming in super cheap. Like, I'll give up picks if he restructures and he is not expensive. So that's about it.
I don't want his type of attitude in our locker room. Even though Flores is a non-nonsense type of guy, coming from Belichick, coming from Parcells, that whole tree is like non-nonsense. I don't think Flores will actually accept, Jalen Ramsey's antics, but I've never thought he was that good. Marcus Peters is the same guy. And when the Rams traded Marcus Peters for Jalen Ramsey, basically they didn't trade for each other. It was two different trades, but I kind of felt like you're trading for the same guy. You're just getting the name to where offensive coordinators say, oh, maybe we shouldn't pass there. But, you got Aaron Donald that's the reason why the defense was okay
It's
in the playoffs.
easy to cover people for 2 seconds.
Exactly. You have Aaron Donald. So, yeah. No on Ramsey. I never liked the guy.
Well, David, I'm here to tell you that PFF disagrees. PFF had Jalen Ramsey as the number 3 overall corner last year behind Patrick Surtain II and Sauce Gardner. And by the way, guess who was number 4 on that list? And obviously limited snaps that may have given it away.
Duke Shelley.
The Duke of Shelley himself. And if you look at just his coverage grade for Jalen Ramsey, he then drops down to about number 10. So, and right behind another Viking, Patrick Peterson. Yep. And Duke Shelley's number 3 in coverage grade, by the way, behind Patrick Surtain and Sauce Gardner. So
PFF grades weird, though. I think our defense was like top 5 according to PFF, and we all watched that defense.
Yeah. No, here's the thing with PFF.
Some are weird.
I do think they have some good points, but I do agree. There's definitely some areas where it's like, okay, I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying here. And I think part of it maybe is grades are based on what they were expected to do and what they did in that comparison. I don't know, but I'm not pretending to be a PFF expert, but I just thought I'd throw a little devil's advocate over to you there, David. But I am mostly with you on that. I think Peter hit the nail on the head there. If he can come in cheap, then I'd be interested for kind of like the Patrick Peterson thing, kind of almost play the Patrick Peterson role of the last 2 years. Kind of have him come in for a couple of years. I wouldn't want to pay him much more than, 5 to maybe $8 million a year, something like that. But if he can come in for that, if he's willing to do that, wants to come into a team that has a chance to win, and maybe be a leader, maybe not a good leader, but be a leader on a defense that's pretty young, then I'd say give him a shot. KOC obviously knows what he's getting in Jalen Ramsey. He was with them with the Rams for a few years. So even though he was on the different side of the ball, I think he knows what Jalen Ramsey's all about, knows who he is, knows what kind of a teammate he is too. So
yeah, I heard something that he has no guaranteed money left on his contract. So if he gets traded, right, it's probably going to be a new deal restructured to get him some more money up front, and some more money down the line. But some guys you just gotta stay away from. Sorry.
Yep. I hear you.
Bail out the Rams for making bad decisions the last few years.
How are you gonna say you can't go full Rams, then trade with the Rams? You can't do that.
That's right.
Come on,
That's
Quasi.
Right.
Come on now. You can't do that.
That's right. All right, gentlemen. Well, it is now time to tell you about our friends at DraftKings. And I'm going to tell you that the action never ends at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially this summer. With tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports, you can fuel your fandom and feel the heat of the season. Even though it may not be warm yet in Northwest Iowa, Minnesota, or the Midwest yet, it's getting there. And the heat of the season, you'll feel it like never before. Plus, right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers risk-free bet up to $1,000. A risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right. Make your first bet up to $1,000, and if it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash in. You can throw down on all major action for baseball, spring training baseball going on, MMA, golf, and, of course, you got NBA going on. March Madness is about ready to tip off, if you will. And plus the same game parlays, spreads, money lines, over-unders, prop bets. Your betting options feel endless. Best of all, DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. And That's the best part. And they have an app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN. For the audience on YouTube, you can see that code in the ticker below. Use that code TPPN and make your first deposit. You get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code TPPN. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. And make sure to read the disclaimer below to see if you qualify for that. So that is in the show notes and in the description for you YouTube folks out there. So DraftKings Sportsbook, a sponsor of the Skol Purple Podcast on the Pigskin Podcast Network. All right, gentlemen. Well, it is time for one more topic before we get to my favorite part. The mock draft season on our show has begun, and we'll get to that here in just a bit. But first, let's talk about this. Tom Pelissero in an interview with Paul Allen, which I think I talked about that a little bit ago, but another part of the interview, Pelissero says, quote, "I would anticipate that he, Dalvin Cook, is absolutely on the team." I find that a little bit surprising, gentlemen. I mean, I think his health plays probably the biggest role in that. I think if he was healthy, and maybe this sounds dumb, but I think if he was healthy, the Vikings probably would cut him. Like, there would be no repercussion of cutting him if he's healthy. But now maybe not. So, what do you guys think? I just had shoulder surgery. They have to cut him by next week, or he's due some sort of amount of money, I think. I'll have to look it up. But David, let's start with you on Dalvin.
You know how I feel about the running backs. I'm not surprised. I wanted Cook to stay, but it looks like it's probably going to be a restructure down the line, kick the can down a couple of years. But Dalvin Cook was not bad this year, though. He played in majority every game this year, and that's the first time he's done that. So he had over 1,000 yards. I just really would like KLC to feature the running backs a little bit more of, those 2nd and 3, something like that, not throwing the ball down the field or stuff like that. But I'm not surprised. I mean, you can draft a guy to play running back, but I always worry about pass protection. I'm not saying Dalvin Cook is the best in pass protection, but at least he knows what to do. I just don't want, a rookie out there to get Kirk Cousins blasted and he's out a couple of games. So.
All right, Peter, what are your thoughts on old DC?
Well, we got a lot going on with Dalvin. First of all, dick move waiting to get the surgery when he did, because he's not going to pass a physical, so we can't cut him. After they talked about a restructure, and then he said, it's all good, we got it all figured out, and then he gets the surgery. It's like, okay, well, what did you guys come to an agreement to? His agent posting nonsense. We post his highlight video for the year, and then he comments on it saying, imagine if they knew how to call run plays. Well, yeah, I would like.
That's a good point. Wow.
I mean, the Rams, the KOC offense doesn't feature the running back like traditional ways we've seen them running back. But also I saw this thing where expected yardage you're supposed to get, and Dalvin Cook was last in the league. He was 200 yards less than he was projected to get based on the call, based on the defense. And that was last. That was worse than Zeke Elliott. And Zeke was right there with him. So Dalvin had a nice season, but he was definitely better than Madison, it felt like, in stretches, like just from an explosive standpoint, hitting the hole. But, man, there were a few plays where he would not make a cut into the right hole.
He goes down so easily too, Peter.
And then he fumbles. Oh, my shoulder came out. I'm hurt. My shoulder's hurt. That's why
he pulls like Xavier Rhodes. Oh, I got beat. I'm hurt.
I'm dead. It's the same
I'm
thing.
dead.
We've paid him a lot of money. I hate paying running backs. They're not worth anything. No, the last 10 Super Bowl winners haven't paid a running back more than $3 million. So that just tells you where running backs are in this game. You can pick up a good running back in the draft. There's little guy. The problem is we got a lot of speed guys out there. Who knows what Michael Chandler's going to bring us, but he wasn't an every down back in college. He split
Ty
time
Chandler,
with Michael, Ty Chandler spent time with Michael Carter. in North Carolina.
Yes,
So
right.
Wanwu's kind of, more of a pass guy, catch the ball out of the backfield, which I want to see more of out of him. So we'll see. I was gonna think of like running backs possibly there, Deuce Vaughn, but not an every down back, little guy, like 5 foot nothing.
Tariq
But
Cohen, yep.
he might fit in that offense, swing pass to
Could
Deuce
be.
Vaughn or screen pass to somebody with that speed and that elusiveness could be a problem. So we'll see. I think it's a dick move. He needs a restructure, or we should just trade him or cut him, whatever you can make some money. Somebody would trade for him. I think the Bills would be a team that would consider trading for him for a cheap
so he
pick.
can be teammates with his brother.
Yeah.
So here's the contract situation with Dalvin in terms of releasing or trading him. If you release him pre-June 1st, it is, and this is for trading as well, it's a $6,200 cap hit, but you save $7,800. $7.8 million.
million, yeah.
Let me
I'm about to
rephrase
say,
that.
if it's that much, do it now.
Go.
6.2 million. You have dead. 7.8 cap million. I swear. All right. So that doesn't sound all that great, but the Vikings could choose to do this, gentlemen. They could choose to release him after June 1st, and they would save looks like about $8 million. It would be about $3 million cap hit, but a total cap savings of $11 million. The only bad thing is the dead cap would go on next year as well. So it'd be $3 million for dead cap this year and next year. So that's the only bad thing. And the same thing if they would trade him post June 1st. So I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility that they could potentially even say we're going to trade him or release him after June 1st. I think that could be a possibility too.
I don't hate those numbers, especially if you're not going to pay a running back. If you're drafting a guy, you don't re-sign Madison, and you got 3 running backs on a rookie deal. That's the money. Okay, you're probably equal to what you'd be paying a running back that's not on a rookie deal. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
Yeah.
The only bad thing is his current cap hit is $14.1 million for 2023. So those are, even though those are the dead cap and cap savings numbers, the cap hit still is a little bit high, but that's where it is with Dalvin. I think we're just going to keep Peter on the show forever after his take on running backs, because that is exactly, it's almost like he watched one of our episodes and heard me talk about running backs and was like, hey, if I say this, Carson's going to keep me on this show forever. And that is exactly what just happened.
I don't do enough. I don't do enough homework.
I get it. I get it. Running backs are not, shouldn't be paid a whole lot. The average running back, longevity in the NFL is probably like 3 years. I mean, look at what New York is going to have to go through with Saquon Barkley. Is the guy only was healthy this year, and he wasn't healthy the past 2 seasons. So are they going to break the bank for him? And I mean, I understand it. I just think like when you get into the playoffs and like we talked before, Carson, about Buffalo, I think Buffalo has a big problem where they can't run the ball in their own stadium because they want to pass all the time. And if you're going to try to play in January, especially in Buffalo, you're going to have to try to control, the clock by running the ball, and they can't. So
right,
that's just the thing.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, it is time to mock. I need to go ahead and share this screen to our YouTube audience and for you guys, so you guys can see exactly what we're looking at here. And here we go. So we're going to enter the draft. I know, shocking, as the Minnesota Vikings. Who would have thought on a Vikings podcast we'd be entering as the Vikings? Here we are. All right, gentlemen.
Set the rounds.
They automatically go based on the order.
Okay.
No, I think you meant like route. I think we only got two 2 rounds in on this
you only
one.
got
The
2.
default's
only
the
2
second
rounds.
round.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta set it before you
We
start.
can hit that
look at
fifth.
me. Look at me. I am just noob at this. Obviously, I have not done my homework. Let's go ahead and get back in here. Let's set the rounds. Yes, that is a good point. Let's set 4 rounds.
And change
Minnesota
the speed
Vikings.
so we can kind of get some trades in.
Yes, I'm going to change it to kind of the middle of the pack here, I think. Does that sound good?
Sounds good for me.
All
Yep.
right. All right, gentlemen. On-air production. Gotta love it. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. And so the Chicago Bears are on the clock. And so we are the GMs here. Yeah, exactly.
Let's make a trade.
Exactly right. We're
I'm
gonna
moving
trade
up to 7, right?
We're gonna trade up and
7.
get. We're trading up to number 1. We're gonna go get Bryce
Let's
Young
go to-
right now.
Let's trade up to number 10.
We got to give up Kirk. Give him to Vegas. We'll give Kirk to Vegas. We're moving up to 7. CJ Stroud will be there.
Look at this. This has got to be terrible. Like, if you put this pick, let's see. Well, we got to start the draft first, I suppose. Okay.
Will Anderson. Wow.
Okay. So the Bears took the
Will Anderson.
edge from Alabama, Will Anderson.
Houston's going Bryce Young here.
So now we gotta go ahead and we gotta tell the
it.
Texans that we want to trade. Oh, it won't be accepted. Weird how that works. How about if we trade our entire draft, because we know the Minnesota Vikings have never done that before.
If you want to get the number 2 pick,
Give him
trade
Kirk.
the first round pick, and the
That
first
didn't
round
even
pick
work.
next year.
Their interest level is
Give
not.
them Kirk too.
Look at this. Look at this,
7%.
guys. 7% for 3 first-round picks. It is the
Give him
second pick
Kirk.
of the draft.
See what it is. Give him Kirk. See if it's automatically accepted.
Let's see. Oh,
No.
boy.
They want no bites. They want young QBs. No bites.
Oh, my goodness. We could add the whole rest of the draft and nothing.
Oh, they'll take 2 1s in Kirk.
2 1s in Kirk. 2
Not
1s
worth
in Kirk.
No chance.
How about this? Can we spice it up a little bit? 20%.
I know your heart's set on Bryce Young, but let him go.
We're gonna let him.
Texans.
We're gonna let him go.
Let
We
him
just
see
had to
what
play
he's
with it,
doing.
right? That's the fun of this. Like, we got to play with it a little bit. So, let's resume. See what happens. And he did go to the Texans. Bryce
He'll
Young
go
to the Texans.
newly arrested Jalen Carter here.
That's right. Yep. Jalen Carter. Oh, and there goes
And then
CJ Stroud. Okay.
Right away. They
Good
punched
grief.
that card in.
We're on the medium speed, and that's what happens. Just quickly, the Colts saw that he was available and ran to the podium.
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson to the Seahawks. What do you think?
They're going
I
edge
think so.
here. They're going pass rush.
They did. And Devin Witherspoon to the
Witherspoon,
Lions.
got it.
Like
Okay.
They gotta stop JJ. They gotta stop JJ. So I mean, okay.
You're
sense.
exactly right. You're
Makes
exactly
sense.
right.
All right, let's roll through
Now,
the top 10. These
to
are all
the-
going to be interesting moves here.
Quarterback, Will Levis,
Will
Tyree
Levis.
Wilson, Anthony Richardson,
Let's make it.
Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez goes off the board. So Richardson, Levis, Stroud, and Young all gone by the 10th pick, where the Eagles got Christian Gonzalez. So
What you guys think
that's
about
not too
trading up for
surprising,
Joey-
is it?
For Joey Porter Jr.
Not worth it. I'm more comfortable now moving back. I think at this
Moving
point
back?
we have to see. We have to see who. Let's get to like what are we? We're picking 23, right?
We are picking
Right.
23.
What
Go
do you want
back
to
a
say?
little bit.
20? You want to see what's at 20? Well, let's
Let's-
scroll down a
let's-
little bit.
Let's see what's available after the Packers pick. What do you think?
Yeah, after 15.
Okay.
Skoronski, Johnson, Quentin Johnson, Broderick Jones, and Brian Branch, the Packers. Gal, I kind of like Brian Branch too. Obviously we have some safeties, but so the Commanders, now that all the top 4 quarterbacks are gone, guys, do you think that they would take a quarterback here?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Do you think about trying to go up here and get a wide receiver if you're the Vikings? Do you think about trying to
one?
go up and get the likes of Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State or
The USC
somebody
kid?
else?
I think they're falling to us. I think we can hold pat right here. I think somebody's going to fall to us if we really want to go wide out. One of those two guys will be there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to trust you. All right. Jordan Addison. Oh,
Okay.
no. Oh, no.
That's good for us, though. Joey Porter's still there.
Joey Porter's still there.
Lucas Van Ness, Joey Porter.
Lions went corner. Oh, my God.
They know. They know.
Well,
they
that's why
got
you shouldn't have traded up with Joey
corner.
they got a
Porter.
double Jefferson with both of them. So
Yeah.
27.
And they have Aiden Hutchinson in last year's draft. That looks good for the
that
Lions
defense
right
looks
there.
really scary.
It's looking
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
All right. Buccaneers, Osiris Torrance. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Dolphins forfeiting
Forfeited.
their pick.
So
Brian
weird that-
Brissy going to the Seahawks. Nice little first round for the Seahawks. They get Miles Murphy and Brian Brissy, both Clemson boys. They're bringing in the Clemson clan, if you
Can
will.
we make a trade?
With the Ravens?
Let's make a trade for the Ravens. Let's trade Adam Thielen to the Ravens and get some more picks. Down the line.
Ooh. Are you all for this there,
Yeah.
Peter?
Yeah,
See
get
if
rid
they
of
can
him.
throw in a second round pick or a third round pick for Adam Thielen.
All right. Let's see.
We don't.
No, we don't need
Let's-
22. We don't need.
Yeah,
22.
we need the 86.
Let's give him. Let's see 86 for Thielen.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to trade him Adam Thielen. Oh, wow.
Let's give him
Not
160.
be
Let's see what.
Yeah, let's give him 160. See what happens.
160.
we go.
73. How about
See what-
this? Let's
see what 177 is. It's not 160. What are the odds on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here.
Try to give him the 177.
Okay.
Yeah. Take off the
Let's,
125 and take off the
let's-
160.
Let's try this. Let's add 159 and let's see how this looks.
Okay.
You guys want to see how this goes?
Yes.
Sure, they'll take it. They're biting.
We'll take it.
Oh,
Not accepted. Wow.
okay. Take off
Take off the
159
159. Take off
and the
159.
160.
Yeah.
How about 200? Should we ask him to
No,
give
we
us-
don't want 200.
No.
That's garbage.
No, we don't
pick.
want 200. Yeah.
All right. How about a fourth round? Or
They're
a
not
fifth
going to go to
rounder?
next year's picks.
Yeah, they're not
gonna go to
going
next
to.
year's picks.
Yeah.
All right.
Give up 160. No, give up 177. Take off 160 and 200. See what they say. Roll it.
2%.
Offer it. See if they'll bite.
Offer it. Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Give him a fifth round pick
So-
for next year.
How about a seventh?
Yeah.
How about
Okay.
how about seventh? This might be better. How about that?
They'll probably
him that.
bite there. Nope. Okay. They don't want Thielen. They don't want Thielen.
They don't
They're
want
not taking
Thielen. They don't want Thielen.
They're not taking Thielen.
All right.
They don't have a
not taking
quarterback. Lamar walked. He's gone. He's sitting in New York. He's wearing green right now.
Okay. How about this? How about this last one? How about ask them for the 125? The 125, right? Ask them for 125. Straight up, just straight up, 125.
They'll
Straight up.
take 125 and Adam
Yeah.
Thielen.
Yeah,
and
just
And
straight up.
159.
Yeah, just ask them. Yes.
You
Now
can
see
keep
what
going. You can get a fourth next year. Yeah, do that. Sure. They want to be dumb. Take it. Okay.
Nah, we gotta-
They don't want.
we
They don't
can
want
just get the
Thielen.
125. The 125
I
works.
mean, it's
with
not
Thielen.
worth it. It's not worth it. We can
Not
move
worth it,
Thielen
yeah.
later. If Thielen's still on the team by this point, he's not even going to be on the team. by
Right.
this
How
point.
about this one last trade? We'll see if it goes through.
It's going to get accepted. Said it
Okay.
would.
Whoa, there we go. That's all I wanted. We got more picks.
Okay,
now.
he want to get rid of Thielen.
All right. Resume
right.
draft.
We're picking.
And they took Bijan. No.
No, we don't. They don't.
Nah, we don't. We got
All right,
issues with
Zay
Cook. We
Flowers.
do it
Zay
next year.
Flowers is on the clock here. Deontay Banks. I've seen him mocked to the Vikings recently. Nolan Smith, the edge rusher from Georgia, is there. Will McDonald, another edge. Safety Antonio Johnson. Let's see. BJ Ojolari.
What are the trade offers? Who's willing to move up?
That's
they
a good
want?
point. We got 8 trade offers. The
28?
Bengals. The Bengals want to give us 28.
Do you want to take 28 and 60 from them?
I would, because the same guys that we're going to draft are going to be there at 28.
12. Give them
Probably.
one. We can give them 177.
177. How about this? Maybe we can do.
Oh yeah, we'll get their whole draft after this. We can get 131.
Let's try that.
We can get 165 too if you want to get real greedy.
We'll give it a shot. Wow.
Boom.
Look at us just picking picks up
Please
here,
don't.
gentlemen. We
There we
are
go, but we're gonna
we
see if we
are
can get a
pulling
quarterback.
a
Right, guys?
Rick Spielman and I guess now Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah as well. He did some of that
No.
trading as well, but
Rick
not
wouldn't
quite.
acquire picks that aren't in the 7th round. We're
That's
acquiring
true.
picks
That's
outside
true.
of the 7th round.
That's right. That's right. All right, gentlemen. Well, let's resume.
Right.
Let's see who the Bengals take. Oh, they wanted Michael Mayer, Cam Smith, Kalijah Cansey, Zay Flowers to the Cowboys.
Banks right there.
Nolan
Bam.
Smith.
Grab, punch the card in. Devontae Banks right
Banks.
there. I'm
Let's
happy
just
with that.
let's just take a peek.
We're
Let's
getting
just take a
greedy.
I'm
peek.
with you, Peter, on Banks.
We
Yeah,
can
I'm
go.
getting-
We can
I'm
go
with you.
back to the 31st pick.
No,
The Chiefs want to trade
Nah.
up,
I'm not biting.
Nah, we're okay.
We got our guy. We got the
but
corner
gentlemen,
at
there is
28.
a plethora of corners. But you want Banks?
I want Banks
I
here.
think
You guys
Banks.
both want Banks? All right, 2 out of
One
3.
Banks.
2 out of 3. We're going with Banks. Do. All right, now we got
Let's trade up. Trade up. Let's
55.
trade up now.
Okay. Oh no, Keon White just went. Ooh, that would have been nice to.
All right, guys.
Would have been nice.
This is
to
what
pick
I'm
up.
thinking right now. With some of the picks that we accumulated from those 2 trades, I mean, I'm not high on this guy, but I would go up and get Hendon Hooker right now, wherever that we can, whoever has a quarterback.
Hendon
that way
Hooker.
we can have somebody.
Okay.
That way we have somebody in the background. I would take him in the 2nd round. Which team that doesn't need a quarterback? I would.
I
Who
think
did the
we can
Colts
wait
take
on.
the first? You think you can wait?
They took Colts took Will Levis, Richardson.
Yeah, we
went.
can trade with the Colts.
I don't
We can
think
trade
we
with
need to
the
move up.
Colts. You don't
I
think
don't
we need
think
to
we
move
need to
that
move
far?
up this high. I don't
Okay.
think the Rams.
So when-
Who's taking a quarterback here? I don't think anybody's taking a
Rams?
quarterback.
Seattle might take a quarterback though, and the Raiders.
I
might
think they're
take
in
a
on
quarterback.
Geno. I think they're in on Geno.
I don't know. I'm just saying we can
Did
get.
the
We, can
We
Raiders
need
trade up.
defensive help.
Did the
I need
Raiders
a linebacker over here. I'm moving up for a linebacker. That's
Yeah,
about
the Raiders
it.
took Levis.
Yeah, Sewell's brother.
He'll
Close.
be
I
there.
would love
He'll be
that.
there
round.
late. He'll be there late.
He'll be there late?
Sewell's- Yeah,
Okay.
Sewell's
So
brother's
do
not
we
rated
want
that
to do we
high.
want to resume? I say resume. Let's see what happens here the next few picks here.
Okay.
Or what do you guys want to do? You want to
I'm
trade up?
okay. I'm okay with sitting. We have picks.
Okay.
Let's get players.
Yeah,
All right.
let's go.
Anton Harrison, BJ Ojolari, Darnell Wright, Luke Musgrave, Trenton Simpson,
That's
Kelly
who I would-
Ringo.
Simpson's where I would think about moving up if we wanted to go linebacker early.
Okay. Now we're back to the Falcons, and the Falcons, they did not take a quarterback, but they could here.
Hendon Hooker.
So, do we want to go trade up for a Hendon Hooker here, gentlemen? What do you think? Are you sold on Hendon Hooker there, Peter? I know
I'm not at this high. I think it's too expensive. Going up where it's just going to cost us too much capital to move up 40 spots.
Let's play with it just to see. Let's
Okay, let's see what it costs.
see. Trade won't be accepted. How about a 177 and a 165? No.
You're going to have to give up like 192 or most of our picks. Yeah, you're gonna have. It's gonna cost way
Yeah.
too much to move up 40
It's
spots.
gonna cost way too much. Yeah.
Yep, it looks.
I think
Looks
we
correct.
stay pat, and we might have to stay pat till 87, or we could try and trade that 5 from next year if you want to move up back in the 60s or 70s. But we can't
Okay.
move up. We got a 2nd round
Yeah.
pick. We drafted T.J. Hawkinson, 2nd round pick. That
That's
was our
right.
Right.
draft
That's a
pick.
good point.
That's
Yeah, that is a good point.
Booty, Foskey, John Michael Schmitz. That would have been another good one, assuming we have left Garrett Bradbury in free agency. Cody Mock. Oh, that would have been another good one. Josh Downs.
I heard the guy from the Jets wants to come
Whoops.
play for us. Their center.
Oh, yeah.
I heard he's interested, so we could have some options. at center.
Charbonnet, Noah Sewell. That was another linebacker.
That was way early for Sewell.
Oh,
Oof.
Jack Campbell, too. Oh, boy. Maybe we should trade up. We're 13 spots away now. Should we trade up for a linebacker or trade up
Who's
just
on
to
the
see?
Who's on the board is the
Can
question.
we even see who's
I don't
on
think
the
they have
board?
the board up,
That's the
which
only
is
bad
lame.
thing.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
can't
bad thing about
see who's
PFF.
available.
Hey, PFF, if you're watching this, Fix your
Put 'em on.
board. We want to see the board. This
Yeah,
is
who's
not.
left?
This is
We're trying
not
to run
typical.
a mock here. We're trying to run a mock.
Yeah,
over
we're trying to run an organization. Come on. All right, so let's see. 74th pick. How? Okay.
Overshown's got a PFF grade of 82. Then that's the big jump. Him and Sanders should both be there towards the back end. I like both those guys a lot. So I don't think they're worth moving up for.
177 and 165. Should we give it a shot? Or do you guys think that's too much?
I think we're giving up too much.
I
What you
agree.
think,
I think we stayed at 87. I think we balked.
Okay.
We moved. We got picks. We need picks. Let Flores get a bunch of defensive guys here.
All right.
Because then we can go quick because we're 92. We're picking within 5 of each other. So we can probably get
Hendon
two guys.
Hooker.
There's
Hendon Hooker. Rasheed Rice. I liked him as a speedster. Dexter Tucker Kraft from SDSU. Go Yotes, though. Sorry. No trade offers for this. Who do we got here? Sam Laporta, tight end from Iowa. We already have a tight end from Iowa. Why not 2? No, just kidding. Even though I wouldn't mind it. Yes, Overshown. Here he is.
If you want to go linebacker,
Do you want to wait 5 picks for him?
I think we can because Drew Sanders is also sitting there at like 95 is his PFF grade, I think. So he's probably still there. You can't even see him. Yeah, he's probably still on the board.
Yeah, KJ Henry's down there.
I like Tomlinson. Do we want to go another corner? Do we want to go wide receiver? If we traded
Nathaniel
Thielen?
Dell.
I think we go wide receiver probably.
Wow, he's ranked 37th and he's fallen all the way down to 87th, according to PFF, of course.
Yeah. He's not bad. I haven't done my deep dive on wide receivers because it's not a position of need, but
what do you guys think here? Sidney Brown, safety.
I'm okay with best available. I don't hate it, especially since we traded Thielen. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, we did. We do. We have to replace Thielen. It's a good point. Good point. Let's do it. Nathaniel Dell.
It's the pick we got for Thielen. Yeah, it's like the pick
it is.
Yeah, it's like the whole Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson thing. Not saying that Nathaniel Dell
most even trade in NFL history.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we're gonna pull the trigger. Nathaniel Dell to the Minnesota Vikings. Looks like it's a good thing. Jaden Reed went. Oh, Henry Tuomo. I don't know how to
the
say
Cowboys.
Let's get that linebacker from Texas.
Travius Hodges Tomlinson would be a good pick if we didn't have other needs.
I like Overshown here. Overshown, and I hate Texas.
Well, that tells you a thing or two there. All right, what do you think there, David?
What about Tank Bigsby, the running back?
I think linebacker more than running
is better.
Back.
Okay.
At this point. I mean, we're in the
let's
third
do
round. All right.
We still have Dalvin Cook.
That's true. We still do, apparently. All right. So do we keep on letting this roll? Let it roll.
Okay. I think we're okay at this point.
All right. Now we're into our final round of this mock. We'll probably go into a full round. That's true. We didn't even...
It's only March. It's March 1st, boys. When we're recording. Oh, spoiler. We're getting into
more mock drafts to come. Don't worry. By the way, this is for the audio listeners. You probably should have been on the YouTube part at this point. So, hey, look who's still there, David. Tank Bigsby.
Get him.
Colby Wooden, Kendre Miller, TCU. I heard some good things about him recently. Dorian Williams. I've heard some pretty decent things about him. Yep. Ivan Pace
I also like a lot. Yep.
More linebackers. Do we need more linebackers? I mean,
if you get a running back here,
Trey Palmer.
That might entice the Vikings to do a June 1st cut for Dalvin just because you got a guy already. So, I mean,
Carl Brooks, how about this edge rusher, gentlemen? As this, we don't know the future of.
But we do have 125.
Hunter. It's true.
But Tank Bigsby, probably there. Maybe not. Yeah.
But then there's also down here Chase Brown yet too. So,
are we scared off of TCU corners after you know.
I'm more scared of the wide receivers from TCU. That Quentin
me
Johnston
too.
with Jalen Reagor, and then you
receivers.
had Josh Doxson before him.
Exactly.
So I'm out on TCU wide receivers. I know people love Johnston, but
let's go defense and go running back at 125 and see what's there.
Defense and running back.
Okay.
The defense at
Carl
this
Brooks,
pick, and then we got the 125. You know,
and we'll go running back.
We go running back.
I'm fine with Carl Brooks.
Carl Brooks, edge rusher from Bowling Green. Welcome to the Minnesota Vikings. Hodges Tomlinson, A.T. Perry, and Ali Gay.
Take your running back.
DeAndre Coburn went ahead of this pick. And Tank is still there, and you can't think of a better name for a running back than Tank Bigsby, can you?
Max Strong.
That's a pretty good one. Tank Bigsby, welcome to the Minnesota Vikings, and we do have one more pick here yet, I believe, that we can make.
I like Moro Ojimo if we want to go D-line again.
Moro Ojimo?
Or the guy from Texas. Or we can go Dorian Williams here if we want another linebacker.
Or do we want to go corner? Get another corner out there. I mean, that's the only thing is if the Vikings do bring back Duke Shelley, plus you have all the young corners already that you have, plus you already took who else did we take already?
We took Banks.
Yeah, Banks. We took Banks. What do you think, David? What do you think here?
I say we go wide receiver.
Wide receiver again?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael Wilson is there.
I can't swallow that. We went running back and receiver. We need defensive help bad.
Okay, so we need defense. Okay, so how about another linebacker, D lineman?
Yeah, go defense.
How about interior defensive line Ojimo, you said?
Yeah, if we're going to go Ojimo? Interior, or I like him or Williams. I'm okay with literally any of those. Or Payas. I like all those guys. It's kind of, we're splitting hairs here at this point on who's going to be the better player. You just don't know.
Can we make a trade with the Panthers afterwards?
To move up?
Just a trade with the Panthers after we make our pick.
We could. Maybe we can even make a trade with another team if we really like some of these prospects here.
No, because what I'm thinking is we've already traded Thielen to the Ravens, right? And we already took a running back in Tank, and with the money that we probably could save a little bit or whatever, I mean, running back room is young now. I would try to give Carolina Dalvin Cook for a 5th round pick just to off him real quick.
Ooh, interesting. Since they don't have a certain Christian McCaffrey anymore.
They don't have McCaffrey anymore, and they got a new head coach over there. Frank Wright might want to try to get somebody to run that ball.
Yeah, he had had a pretty good running back in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
because they're gonna have another good one, right?
They're going to have to they're probably going to draft a quarterback, and they probably already have in this mock. And the best thing for a young quarterback is a consistent running game. So they might bite for that.
Would you go with Ojimo over Kobe Turner here, Peter?
Yeah, I think so.
I really think interior defensive line, we should really address that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Yeah, then let's go Ojimo then if we want to go.
Ojimo it is. Oh, no.
We missed the Panthers trade.
We missed the trade.
Did they take a running back? They took a running back?
They took a running back.
We're done. Just run it. Run the rest of the draft.
That was right there.
That was a good.
Hey, maybe the Rams.
No, they got Cam Akers. They like Cam Akers again.
They don't run the ball.
That's what they think. That's what they say. Trade in division with the Bears again. Let's do it.
I've banned trading in division. No more. Never again. We tend to lose those.
Let's pull a Kwesi and do it.
Nah. I knew Carolina was going running back.
Man. Biting running back.
I don't think I even had the option to pause. It's like
too
it just
fast. It happens.
Or it just went.
That's the moment right there. That's the moment of the mock draft. Everything else is moot.
I guess we got to move this thing to slow from now on. My goodness.
Right. let's see what they grade us. Do they grade us after this? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now you can go faster. Jake Hayner, okay.
What are they
Grading
giving
your
us?
draft.
A-. Might be an A.
Oh, staying in your seat. Let's see. A full grade A.
There
We
you
did
go.
get an A. A. How about that?
Yeah, that looks good.
Definitely got to download that image. We got to share with our folks on the socials about our great mock draft, gentlemen. Let's see. First round mock draft. So they gave us an A for the Deonte Banks pick. B+ for the trade with Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and A+ for Nathaniel Dell in the third round, which I kind of thought, based on where they had him ranked anyway, that could be the case. Overshown A. Everything's an A, gentlemen. A-, B+ the trade. They didn't give us a trade on a grade on the Thielen trade, but
they don't grade player trades, unfortunately.
Player trades.
Too hard to grade. Too hard to
That's
grade. You
right,
just don't
that's
know.
right. But no, I think I'd be all right if this was a Vikings draft right here. What do you guys think?
I'm not. I don't hate it.
First four rounds, obviously.
And we got a couple picks. Yeah, we still got a couple more. We can do some more damage.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we addressed here is cornerback, wide receiver, linebacker, edge rusher, running back, and interior defensive line. Plus, we also have a fifth round pick, a couple of fifth round picks that we could have used had we continued on with this draft. And then we also picked up a fifth rounder for 2024 as well. So we did pretty good. We did pretty good. We kind of what do you want to say, replenished our cap, our capital in terms of draft picks, which was good. So Adam Thielen's no longer with us, but we wish him the best in Baltimore with the Ravens, and Ring of Honor probably coming soon at some point whenever he retires, obviously. So, but there you have it, gentlemen. That is our first mock draft on the Skol Purple podcast, and that is going to bring us to a conclusion on this show. Yeah, that was fun. We've got to do that. We got to keep doing that. That's fun. A lot of fun. So hopefully you guys had as much fun as we did. I guess maybe I should say for the audio audience, once again, Deonte Banks, we drafted in the first round from Maryland, got an A+ or an A on that one. B+ for the trade with Cincinnati. We traded them our 28th pick, or we received their 28th pick. We traded them our 23rd pick. Also picked up the third round pick, 92, fourth round, 131, fifth round, 165. B+ on that trade. A+ for our third round, 87th overall pick in Nathaniel Dell from Houston. A for DeMarvion Overshown from Texas, third 92, round 3, number 92. Carl Brooks from Bowling Green, edge rusher, we took at 119, fourth round pick. A grade for Tank Bigsby, running back at 125. We kept hanging on. David really wanted him. We passed on him a couple of times, and we got David his guy after all. And then we traded Adam Thielen to the Ravens for a fourth and 2 fifths. And one of those fourths went to get Tank Bigsby. So there's that. And then our final pick of the fourth round, this was a 4-round mock, A- for Moro Ojomo from Texas, an interior defensive lineman. So that is it. And an A overall draft grade from PFF. Gentlemen, that was fun. Definitely going to do it again because that's fun stuff right there. That is fun stuff. Maybe we'll have to try the Draft Network too. I think there's probably a few other simulators out there. I think I heard that they were working on their website at one time, so I don't know if they got it all up and running or not, but I think that is pretty much going to do it. Really want to thank Peter for joining us, his first ever appearance on the Skol Purple podcast. Peter, go ahead and shout out your work on your YouTube channel and all the other stuff you got going on too, man.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate that. All right. If you want to check me out, I'm at After the Review Sports on YouTube and Instagram. Do daily news videos. Like we did Jalen Carter video today, breaking down what happened with him, what's going on with his arrest warrant, stuff like that. Also do sports stat fact of the day every single day. Just a little fun stat. You learn something new, surprising. Some people like it. You can like share it at the water cooler. You'd be smart. Impress your friends, be like, oh, man, that's cool. He knows that stuff. So yeah, that's what I do. So more daily sports content, just covering everything, live streams like that, trying to work some other draft stuff I got going. I know we had a lot of fun tonight. So yeah, thanks for having me. It was a blast. Honestly, the most realistic draft you'll see because the Vikings will trade back in the first round. Be ready for it, fans. Be ready for that Thursday night letdown because I am. Oh, we're gonna pick. No, we're not.
That's right. That's right. Well, and don't say goodbye too harshly there because Peter will be back. He's part of our team now. We're glad to have him with us, and he might even be filling in for me some next week and the week after potentially with some vacation and different things going on. So he's a part of our team. We're glad to have him. And we're glad to have Mr. David Woods a part of our team as well. He's our topic guru. He knows some good topics to talk about. And so glad to have you both on the show. Tony couldn't make it tonight, but he is still a part of our crew here and looking forward to getting him back on as well. So, but gentlemen, thanks for joining me. And for all of our watchers and listeners, thank you for listening and watching. And as always, we always say on this show, Peter, as a lot of Vikings fans, as always, Skol.
Skol.
Skol.